My sister raised her red wine glass in front of 42 guests in my parents' backyard. She pointed her finger at me and said, "To Camila, the family's deadbeat, who still doesn't understand that some of us were born to win and others were born to lend the couch." My mother laughed. My father laughed. My Aunt Esperanza laughed so hard that her fork fell onto the blue ceramic plate my grandmother had left us before she died. It was September 14th, a Saturday, 7:22 p.m. The party was for my sister Valentina's promotion to regional sales director at Meridian Pharmaceuticals. There were golden balloons, there was a floral arch that cost $680. There was a photographer hired for $400 to document the most important moment for the Herrera family in 20 years. According to my mother's exact words in the family WhatsApp group, I was sitting in chair number 11 by the dessert table in a navy blue dress I had bought on sale for $39. In my purse, I had a cream-colored manila folder, folded into thirds, with 43 pages inside. Bank transfers, screenshots of Zelle payments, contracts signed with my sister's cursive handwriting, and a final document, the one on page 43, which totaled exactly $17,340.01. My name is Camila Herrera. I'm 34 years old. I'm a certified public accountant, and for 11 years I have been, according to my father's exact words at Thanksgiving dinner in 2021, the daughter who never understood that money isn't given away without a fuss. I want you to know what happened when I took that folder out of my purse. But before I tell you what my mother whispered when she read page 43, subscribe, like, and tell me in the comments. If your own sister called you a deadbeat in front of your whole family after 11 years of secretly borrowing money from you, would you tell them? Or would you let the truth speak for itself? Because what happened that night changed my last name forever. This is how I got here. I grew up in a 2-story house in Coral Gables, at 4215 Aragon Street. My father, Ernesto Herrera, owned a used car dealership. My mother, Lucia, gave piano lessons to upper-class children for $85 an hour. In that house, there was an unwritten rule, but one as firm as the Italian tiles on the floor. Valentina shone, and I applauded. Valentina was 3 years older, queen of Gulliver Prep School, captain of the debate team. She received a red convertible Mustang when she turned 16, financed by my father in 48 installments of $612. I turned 16 years later and received a $50 Publix gift card, and my mother's phrase, "Camila, you are the smart, practical one. You don't need a show." Family dinners were on Sundays at 1:15 p.m. Always ropa vieja, always white rice, always the same ritual. My father would ask Valentina about her achievements, and then, as if remembering late that there was another daughter, he would turn to me and say, "And you, my daughter, have you found a boyfriend yet?" "Never." "How's your career going?" "Never." "What are you building?" My sister had a favorite phrase when she drank white wine. "I'm the kind of person who generates wealth. Camila is the kind of person who manages it." My mother repeated that phrase at Christmas parties as if it were a biblical prophecy. My father would nod with his eyes closed. At 23, I opened my own accounting firm. I called it Herrera and Associates, although the only associate was my cat, Tostone. At 28, I had 72 recurring clients. At 32, 146. I never mentioned it at dinners. When I tried once in December 2020, my father interrupted me to ask Valentina about her annual bonus of $38,000. That night, driving back to my apartment in Brickell, I thought for the first time, something isn't right here, but I don't know how to name it. On the 11th of March 2014, Valentina called me at 10:47 p.m. I was in my pajamas reviewing tax returns for a client who owned a bakery in Hialeah. Her voice sounded choked. "Cammy, I need $4,000. It's for the deposit on the apartment in Doral. I'll pay you back in 30 days. I swear on Mom." I didn't say no. I transferred $4,000 via Zelle at 11:02 p.m. But that night, out of professional habit, I opened an Excel document on my computer and wrote, "Loan number 1, Valentina Herrera, $4,000, the 11th of March 2014, term, 30 days. I saved the file in a folder called Family. I protected it with a password that was my grandmother's name. Dolores, 1,940. 30 days later, Valentina didn't pay me back. I texted her. She replied, Cammy? Oh, the move killed me. Maybe next month. I said yes. 2 months later, she asked for $6,500 for a car emergency. I transferred it. I noted it in Excel. In December of that year, $9,200 for an urgent dental treatment. I transferred it. I noted it. In March 2015, $11,400 to close a deal that's going to change my life. She never paid me back a cent. Every December, at Christmas Eve dinner, while my sister told stories of her vacations in Tulum and Aspen, I kept silent. My father would raise his glass and say, "To Valentina, who teaches us all what hard work is." I would nod. I would smile. I would go home and update the Excel sheet. 11 years, 38 loans, $17,340.18. Each transfer with an attached text message where she literally wrote, "I'll pay you back, sis. You know I'm good for it." I saved every screenshot. I saved every email. I saved every impromptu contract she signed with her cursive handwriting when I asked for something in writing. I never mentioned it to my parents. I never mentioned it to anyone. Until Saturday, September 14th. The first confrontation was on Tuesday, September 2nd, 12 days before the party. Valentina called me at 3:18 p.m. while I was eating a turkey sandwich in my Brickell office. "Kami, I need a favor. A big favor. $22,000 for the down payment on a house in Weston." There was a 4-second silence. I measured it on my watch. "Valentina, no." "What do you mean, no?" "I always pay you back." "No. You've never paid me back." Her voice changed. It became sharp, like a knife fresh out of the drawer. "Oh, Cammy, don't be so intense. How much have I asked you for in total? 10,000? 15? Stop the accountant drama." I took a deep breath. I looked at the Excel document open on my second screen. Row 43. Total. $17,340. "Valentina, I'm not lending you any more money." She hung up. The second confrontation was on Thursday, September 4th. My mother called me at 7:42 p.m. "Camila, your sister told me you denied her help for her house. What kind of sister are you?" "Mom, Valentina has owed me money since 2014. My mother laughed. A short, dry laugh, like someone hearing a bad joke. "My daughter, don't invent things. Valentina earns $190,000 a year. Why would she ask you?" "Because she spends more than she earns." "Camila, I don't want you to poison this family with your jealousy. Valentina just got a promotion. Support her." "It's not jealousy, Mom. It's arithmetic." She hung up. The third confrontation was on Saturday, September 13th, 24 hours before the party. My father came to my apartment without warning. He knocked on the door at 10:04 a.m. He brought a box of guava pastries from Versailles and an expression I had known since childhood, that of someone coming to negotiate without wanting to negotiate. He sat on my couch, looked at my bookshelf, looked at my plants, looked at everything but me. "Camila, your mother is crying. Valentina says you've been financially bullying her." "Dad, do you know what financial bullying is?" "Don't talk to me like that. Look, I'm going to offer you something. I'll give you $5,000. You lend your sister the $22,000, and we'll all be at peace." I stared at him. I gave myself 5 seconds of silence. "No. Camila. Think about the family." "I've been thinking about the family for 11 years, Dad. Today I start thinking about myself." He got up, left the pastries on the table. "Then, tomorrow at the party, behave yourself. Don't make a scene. This night is your sister's." He closed the door without saying goodbye. That afternoon at 2:16, I went to Office Depot, printed the 43 pages, stapled them, and put them in a cream-colored manila folder. On Saturday, September 14th, at 7:22 p.m., Valentina raised her red wine glass to Camila, the family's deadbeat, who still doesn't understand that some of us were born to win and others were born to lend the couch. The whole backyard laughed. 42 guests. My Aunt Esperanza, my cousins, the neighbors, my father's friends from the Domino Club. I saw my cousin Sophia lower her gaze. I saw Valentina's husband Mateo tighten his lips. Everyone else laughed. I stood up slowly. I walked to the center of the garden where the main table was, under the $680 floral arch. I took the manila folder out of my purse. Valentina, before we toast, I want to give you something. It's your promotion gift. She smiled. She thought it was a check. She held out her hand. I handed her the folder. What is this, Cammy? Open it. She opened the first page. It was a summary, a single sheet with a single figure in bold. Size 48. 17340美元1美分. Outstanding debt from Valentina Herrera to Camila Herrera, 2014 to 2025. My sister stopped breathing. I literally saw her stand still with her mouth slightly open for 4 whole seconds. My mother, who was next to her, took the folder, read it, turned to page 2, pages 3, 4, 5, Zelle transfers, text messages, signed contracts, Valentina's unmistakable cursive handwriting, on 38 different documents. My father approached, read over my mother's shoulder. I watched the color drain from his face. The garden fell silent, a silence so dense that the buzzing of the decorative fountain in the background could be heard. My Aunt Esperanza was the first to speak. She whispered, but we all heard her. Oh my God. My mother found page 43, the last one. She read it and whispered without looking at me, her voice broken. Valentina, is this true? My sister didn't answer. She put the wine glass on the table, sat down, and stared at the white tablecloth. I spoke for the first time since I had handed her the folder. Mom, Dad, for 11 years I told you with silence what I tell you today with paper. Valentina is not the successful daughter. Valentina is the indebted daughter. I am not the deadbeat. I am the one who has fed her. I turned around. I walked towards the garden door. My father called my name. Camila, wait. I didn't stop. That night at 11:18. My cousin Sophia uploaded a video to TikTok. Not of the toast, but of the silence afterward. 37 seconds of 42 people with their mouths open. The caption read, "When the failed daughter turns out to be the one who has been supporting the successful daughter for 11 years. Miami 2025. At midnight the video had 8,400 views. By 8 a.m. Sunday, 340,000. By 6 p.m., 2.1 million. By Monday midday, 6.8 million. Someone in the comments recognized Valentina. They wrote, "This lady is a regional director at Meridian Pharmaceuticals. She just got promoted." The comment received 89,000 likes. On Tuesday, September 17th, Meridian's Human Resources Department opened an internal investigation into my sister's financial history after 340 employees shared the video in the internal Slack group. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. I had 127 missed calls from my mother, 94 from my father, 0 from Valentina. On Wednesday, September 18th, I published a single post on my Instagram. I wrote, "For 11 years I lent money to someone who didn't pay it back. For 11 years I heard at family dinners that I was the daughter who didn't understand success. For 11 years I saved every receipt, not out of resentment, but out of professional habit. Last Saturday, I decided that silence was no longer love. It was complicity. I don't seek punishment, I seek truth. He who has ears to hear, let him hear." 820,000 likes in 48 hours. My mother published a statement on her Facebook. "Family matters are resolved within the family. Respect our process." She received 4,200 comments, 91% against her, 9% defending her. My Aunt Esperanza called me Thursday morning crying. She told me, "My daughter, your grandmother Dolores once told me something before she died that I didn't understand. She told me, 'The one who writes wins.' I think I understand now." I asked her what she was talking about. She told me, "Come to my house, there's something I have to give you." On Friday, September 19th, I went to my Aunt Esperanza's apartment in Kendall. She handed me an old cardboard shoebox with my grandmother Dolores's name, written on the lid with a black marker. Inside were letters. Dozens of letters. My grandmother described my aunt during the last 5 years of her life, about the family, about her fears, about her hopes. One letter was dated the 4th of November 2013, 4 months before Valentina asked me for the first $4,000. My grandmother wrote, "Esperanza, sister. I don't know how to tell you this, but I've seen it. Valentina will fall, and Camila will hold her up, and no one will know. Camila is the strong one in this family, even if no one tells her. I pray every night that someday Camila finds the voice to tell the truth. May God give her the paper, the exact number, and the moment, because truth without evidence is lost, but truth with numbers is eternal. I sat on my aunt's floor. I couldn't move for 40 minutes. I cried until my chest hurt. My grandmother had prayed for this night, 12 years earlier. She had known what was going to happen, and had asked that I have the numbers. I framed the letter, hung it in my office in front of my desk. I look at it every morning. Today is the 28th of April 2026. 7 months have passed since that night. With the money Valentina finally paid me because Meridian demanded she settle the debt as a condition to keep her position. I opened a foundation. I named it the Dolores Herrera Foundation, Financial Education for Young Women. We have trained 312 women in basic accounting, contracts, and how to say no. The first class was on the 11th of March 2026, exactly 12 years after the first loan. I don't speak to Valentina. The door isn't closed, but I'm not pushing it either. My mother calls me once a month. We talk for 10 minutes, never touching on the subject. My father sent me a card for my birthday in February. It said, "Forgive me for not having seen you." I saved it. I haven't answered it yet. Last Sunday, my 7-year-old niece Luna, my sister's daughter, asked me while we were eating ice cream, "Aunt Cammy, why don't you and Mommy talk anymore?" I told her the truth, but gently. "Because a long time ago your mommy forgot to give me something important back, and I need time to remember how to love her without feeling like she owes me." Luna chewed her ice cream, thought, and said, "Then tell her to give it back, and that's it." Just like that. I laughed until I cried. Last week I posted a picture of my grandmother's letter on Instagram, framed over my desk. The caption read, "Truth with numbers is eternal. Dolores Herrera, 1943 to 2014. A woman from Tampa wrote to me in the comments, "Camila, I've been lending my brother money for 9 years. Tomorrow I'm opening my Excel. Thank you for teaching me that saving receipts is an act of self-love." Her comment has 47,000 likes. I learned something in these 11 years, and I learned it completely on the night of September 14th. Love without record becomes debt. Family without truth becomes theater. And silence, when prolonged too long, stops being patience and starts being permission. I no longer give permission. My name is Camila Herrera. I am 34 years old. I am the daughter who saved the receipts. And finally, after 11 years, I am also the daughter that my dad,